It's Monday Night Live, not football, but travels with Tito. Tito being the fine vodka and cranberry from Texas. So I thought I would jump in between everybody and do a little gluing in my travel journal. So come join me if you are able or if you would enjoy that. If not, that's okay too. I'm going to do this. Okay, lurkers are good. I am a great lurker. So I'm just going to be gluing in a travel journal that I started a long time ago. And I get a lot of travel magazines and such. And hi, Lori. How are you? Happy Monday. I guess, yeah, it's kind of funny to say happy Monday, but it is the beginning. And if there's a beginning, there's an end. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. I'm glad you could join me tonight. I'm traveling with Tito, which is Texas's finest vodka. And I am working in a travel journal that I made quite a while ago. So I have, some pictures already cut out. So I'm just going to be doing some gluing and bullshitting as we kind of wander through Monday night. It's a big weekend, I guess. 4th of July is coming up. I didn't even realize it was coming. I don't even know what the heck happened to. Yes, very. I don't know where the hell did June go? June. Oh, June. Wasn't June the name of Ward's wife? Anyway, I'm going to ramble a little bit. So I get. And I see I have a major glare here, and my lighting sucks, and I can't. Let's see. Can I do this? Someone said you point it up. You point it up, or you point it down. Oh, guys. Well, I just gonna do my best, and maybe one of these days I'll invest in a light. But I'm glad you're here, all of us together. This is awesome. So I get these catalogs from these awesome cruise lines like Oceana and all of those things, which, I would never be able to afford to go on one of those cruises unless I won the lottery. And it'd be hard to win the lottery because they never buy a ticket. Uncle, old uncle. Yeah, that's what I was. Tito is uncle in Spanish, isn't it? It is Tito, and Tita would be aunt. I was thinking that I did, take a wee bit of Spanish back in the day. So this is some of the pages that I've already done. And most of these come out of the Oceana. And these catalogs these travel journals are made out of those, those hard cards you get in the mail. And I save them up and stitch them together. And so I'm going to add to that. And I just thought I would go on live, kind of looking around to see who was here. And I mean, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, so to speak, or whatever. But sometimes you just got to jump in. Tia and T-O. Yes, so Tito. That's what I thought. It was Tia and T-O. So how is everybody doing on this lovely plenty of space on YouTube? Yeah, there is right now. This is true. Absolutely. A quick side note is I got a message from my daughter-in-law asking me if she wanted her to send me her Christmas cards from Christmas past. So I've got her, on in with the program, and so she has a sense of what I'm doing, and I was thrilled, and I said yes, please. So she sent me a bunch of Christmas cards from past Christmases that I can recycle, upcycle, or Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Or you'll, yeah, this is true. It's kind of like merging on the freeway, you know, into traffic. That's a good point, and I've been told that too, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess there's people that I admire and I follow, and you just don't want to jump in like that. But you're right. You got to have to just jump in, and people have a choice. It's everyone's choice. They can not show up or whatever. That's that's the one thing about YouTube. No one's telling us what to watch, when to watch it, or how to watch it at whatever time that is. So this is a good point. Do any of you guys watch golf at all? I know a lot of people think golf is as exciting as watching grass grow. But I was watching the PGA Travelers Golf Championship on Sunday. I was actually looking for 60 Minutes, and it was not on because golf was on. And these two guys, they had tied at the end of the match. I don't think that's what you call it. And they were going to go into overtime, which is, yes, I know. However, it can be exciting. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. But they were going into overtime. And of course, they don't call it overtime in golf. But so they went back to I think that when they go back to like the 15th hole, and they tee off from the 15th hole, and whatever that is, par 3, par 4, blah blah blah. So they went all through that, and then they went through that twice, and then they decided if they continued, then they were just going to go back to the 18th hole and play the 18th hole over and over again. And you know why? Because the spectators didn't want to walk that far. Hi, Barb. How are you? Barb and others. Yes. And so the fans said, oh, no, you have to just go back to the 18th because we don't want to walk. Hi, Devin. How are you? They didn't want to walk that far back to whatever the starting point was when it was a tie. So it was fan driven. They were too lazy. And I'm sure half of them needed the exercises, just saying. And of course, it's no sweat off the golfers because they're riding in golf carts, so they don't give a shit whether they go back to the 14th or the 18th. But the fans bitched and complained, so they didn't go back. So they only went back to the 18th, but they had to walk back to the beginning of the 18th. Anyway, they did this 7 times, and it was a tie. And finally, the more experienced of the two golfers, and I don't even remember their names, I'm embarrassed to say, but it was pretty cool. And they went back, and the experienced guy finally won. But it was pretty exciting. I mean, for as far as golf goes, yeah, it was 7 times. It was like the second longest golf match ever in the history of golf, forever and ever, amen type of deal. And it was pretty cool. And so that's what I was doing, watching golf. And I know a lot of people are totally turned off by golf, but I kind of enjoy it. I've never played, even though I live on a golf course. Yes, it was the Travelers Championship, part of the PGA Tour. It was this past Sunday. And most of these tournaments start on Thursday, and then they have their first round of cuts, and then on Sunday is the final. I like this little thingy here, but I like this little thingy here too, so I want to put that there. So I'm going to have to find something to put there. I'm just thinking out loud, which can be scary. It was interesting. It was good. And speaking of more golf, I know you're just riveted at this point. A couple of weeks ago, Phil Mickelson, who is older, right? he won a tournament a couple of weeks ago, and he was the oldest guy ever to win a golf tournament, whatever that tournament was. He was 50 years old. Okay, you used to play, Devin? That's cool. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, miniature golf. It's that, yeah, that windmill I used to always hit it. Yes, that's why this was, I mean, he was, he was competing with Tiger. And I didn't realize, but Tiger won the Masters last year. And then this year he ran his car off, the cliff or whatever. And now he's all effed up. But, time goes on, even for these guys, and for all of us. But Phil, oh, wow. Ooh, that's pretty. And that's pretty. Ooh, I don't know. But this kind of goes with this. I think I'm going to see this. This is one of those Oceania cruises. Oh, there. Can see that. Can you see that? Light focus? I don't know if you have a piece of paper handy. I would type oceanacruises.com and they will send you the most beautiful travel catalogs you have ever seen. And they will not stop. They will come forever. I've been receiving these probably for the last 3 or 4 years. Never gone on a cruise, but they have the most gorgeous, as I would say on Long Island, gorgeous catalogs for free. Yes. And these catalogs have great quality. The paper is, I mean, I have a whole stack of them. Gosh, I like that. I do. All right, I'm gonna stick that down. And I will, this picture I have, oh my gosh, this one pops up, in a lot of these cruises. I don't know, people going on cruises now have to be a little crazy. I don't know. It seems a little risky. I only went on one cruise once, many, 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 many years ago. I can tell you, let's see, 43 years ago. Oh, yeah. He certainly did. Most of us know that if they could only keep it zipped, there'd be a lot less problems in the world, but he couldn't keep it zipped, so to speak. And I always found, I always found it weird that his little dickie mentally just totally effed him up, but it did, little dick. After that, he just lost his whatever. And then he finally started making a comeback, but then he drove off this highway in California, right? And I guess, I don't know, yeah. The professor and Mary Ann. I don't know whether you remember when he went flying off the road in California, but here, at least in Florida, it interrupted national news. We bring you this interruption that Tiger wasn't going. Okay, he's well known. But to interrupt the 6:30 national news report, because anyway, yeah, I don't know about the dad. The effing road, yeah. And all of a sudden that's national news. But I think he's okay. I guess when they found him, when the EMTs or the rescue people arrived, he was still conscious, but I guess he's frigged up his legs, and they asked him what his name was, and all he could say was, "My name is Tiger." And talk about an ego. He just assumed everybody would know him just by the name Tiger. But anyway, I saw a picture of him not too long ago on crutches, but I think he broke both. It must have been a slow. It must have been. That's a good point. Yeah, it had to have been a dead news day. Yeah, and they're, news sometimes are like vultures. They're just circling, waiting for the dead or the near dead. So how is everybody? All of us here. I know there's a lot in the news on the West Coast. Have you seen Madonna and Cher? And this is true. I was watching the news and they were talking about the temperatures on the West Coast. My God, Seattle, it was like 115 and triple digits. I mean, unbelievable. I thought I was complaining about 90 here in Florida. 90 is the is the cool spot. I mean, and they were saying how devastating this is, and people are in jeopardy, and especially in areas where it's not usually that hot, so people don't have air conditioning, and then a tropical storm has formed over Carolina, and it's Danny, if that's its name. His name is Danny, and he went from a depression. He went from being depressed into a full-blown tropical storm in 4 hours. That's a pretty fast formation. Oh, 30. Oh, that's hot. Sure. Yeah. 33 Celsius. Yeah. Well, all I know is 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit. So do the math. I know there's a formula converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, and I know that there's a fraction 9/5 over 5/5. 90 all week in Montana. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They were saying how dry it was out in California. 94. That's hot. 94 is, and I can't imagine that without air conditioning. That's just insane. When I lived in southwestern New York, we didn't have air conditioning because it never got that hot, and then when it did get hot, it only lasted for a day or two, and it always cooled off at night. It would drop down to in the 50s. It was great, but man, you'd have those couple of days that were when in the 80s, and you suffered in the 80s. No one had air conditioning. And I guess they were saying on the news, they were saying that people were checking into hotels to be able to hang out in some air conditioning. And all of the hotels were booked now at this point because of people trying to get out of the heat because they didn't have air. It's crazy, 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 crazy. I hope you can see what I got. I have little itty bitty, itsy bitsy pieces here. I've come to the conclusion that I like little pieces. I do. And I'll take these little tiny little like booklets, and I will just do like mini type of glue books. Anybody here doing the iCAD? Hi, Colleen, how are you? This year I've decided not to follow the prompts on my iCADs. I am all over the place. They make absolutely no sense at all. if you, I have them on Instagram, but if you can, I mean, they are so random and so out there, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Last year, I followed the prompts to the T. I was a good rule follower, and this year, I kind of made a journey. And Jersey and I had a challenge that she was going to follow the prompts, and I was not. And I'm not following the prompts. And sometimes, it's a struggle, but other times it's just fun. It's just fun. Those of you that are joining us, I'm traveling with Tito, Travels with Tito. And Tito is a premier vodka that is distilled in Texas. And every year they have their 4th of July vodka, and they have like a little red, white, and blue flag collar that goes on all the bottles. So I'm being very patriotic, and I'm just I'm being healthy tonight. I'm drinking it with not a martini, but I'm actually drinking it with a little cranberry juice. So I feel very healthy. Look at those pictures. Isn't that gorgeous? I have no idea where that is. But isn't that so pretty? Oh my gosh. I've been watching a Netflix series, and maybe some of you have watched it. It's called, Hi Lisa, how are you? Good evening. Well, it has olives. Cape Cod. Oh, is that what that's is it a Cape Cod or is it a sea breeze? I used to be a bartender. I should know this. It could be a Cape Cod. I don't know. I've been watching this show on Netflix called Manifest. Anybody watching Manifest? I'm working in a travel journal that I made quite a while ago, Allie, and I have a lot of travel pictures, and I'm just basically gluing travel pictures from various ocean cruise catalogs that I receive in the mail, and kind of just drool at these pictures. Oh yeah, is that not okay? Oh, okay. I'm enjoying that, Susan. I think it's so creepy, bizarre. And I tell you, the weirdest thing is I was watching 60 Minutes on Sunday night. You're on episode 10, season 1. And that's about probably where I am too. I'm still on season 1. Okay. Yeah, I think it only has 2 seasons. But on 60 Minutes last night, they were talking about the same. I mean, it was so creepy because what they were talking about on 60 Minutes was very similar type of shit that's going on in the Manifest, mind things. And I was like totally creeped out. But if you have Netflix, I highly recommend it. Again, it's only has 2 seasons, and Ha ha ha, Laura, you're very funny. Ha 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 ha. They fell off the cliff. I don't think there's a cliff yet. Oh, now you want an adult bedroom? Well, you're an adult. What goes good with the chicken pot pie? Anything, just saying. Right? Anything your little old heart desires. I know most of you guys don't drink, but I don't think you mind that I do. I'm not a closet drinker. I just enjoy a beverage, and I figured I would come on. I'm also working on an Alice in Wonderland journal that has kind of gotten away from me. Uh-huh. That's kind of like a what is that's funny. Remember well, maybe you don't. I was going to say, do you remember the drinking games when you're at bars? And anyway, maybe you don't. But anyway, I certainly would not want to encourage anybody to do something that they're not supposed to do, or they're not accustomed to doing. Oh, look at these little Wellington. Wellington is in New Zealand. Yeah, wine. Oh, yeah. I know nothing about wine. Nothing. I mean, I'm not, but I have very, very, very good friends, and he is, a wine connoisseur, and this guy knows his wine. And these are my I call them my Irish friends, because they're from go figure, they're from Ireland. And Sean really knows all, he knows his wine. So when they come over here, occasionally they'll come down and in the afternoon, and just for a short visit, and they'll have wine, and I'll have like a Bloody Mary. And I'm always researching, what's a good wine. And some days it feels like, yes, I know. Yeah, I know that feeling. And yeah. So I'm always looking for interesting wines. And I would say probably maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was reading in Food and Wine, about they always have recommendations for wines. And the nice thing about those recommendations is that they're not ridiculously expensive. And so they were recommending a wine called Josh. And so I bought the Chardonnay. And now all of a sudden, Josh is, you see the little black sheep there? Isn't that see him right there? It's just hiding in the background. And now Josh has become this super, super, super popular wine. At the local Publix, they have like a quarter of an aisle that just has Josh wine. And Saturday Night Live actually did a skit featuring Josh wine. So now it's a super popular wine. But I kind of introduced them, and this is, I think, I could be wrong, but I think this is before Josh became super popular. And now it's like everywhere, and on the Saturday Night Live skit. Ha ha ha, have you ba ba ba. And now we have this, I know it can go here, a little washy. And so Josh has become popular. So the skit on Saturday Night Live is like a family's having dinner, mom, dad, daughter, and boyfriend. And they're having dinner, and there's a bottle of Josh on the table. And when dinner's all over, they want to know what to do, and they're talking about playing a game. And the mom suggests this one game, and everyone else wants to play this other game. And the next thing you know, she's just slugging slugging down, hammering back the Josh, and gets a little inebriated, and she's slamming dishes into the dishwasher, and they're asking her, "Is there anything wrong? Is there anything wrong?" And she says, "No, no." Anyway, it was silly. But the point of Josh basically had center stage, center table. There was a bottle of Josh. What? You're gluing on to the back of, what are you talking, Devin? Hey, you are gluing on to Back to the Future actor Michael J. Fox. I don't have, that's interesting that you should mention that. I do have that black and white picture, but it's in my black and white journal. Lori, you're confused. Thanks for the thumbs up, though. Thank you. That's so. You think that's him right there? I don't think so. There's a wee tiny little thing there. He's stuck on it. All right. I don't know what you're. I don't know. He's stuck onto your journal now. My journal now. Lori, I have no idea. Am I that? No, I'm not. I'm fine. This is stuck. I'm still using this Amazon glue, and I'll tell you what. He was stuck onto your main picture. All right, I have no idea. Main picture. This main picture? This main picture? I'll have to look. I have a. Are you guys just. I think you're just joshing me. Ha 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 ha. You joshing me? Should we have her? See, these are pains in the asses to cut out, but they are fun to stick down wherever. I did some, I was invited by Tanya and Lisa to a jelly plate session. And man, I suck at, you'd have to unglue, ha ha ha. You think he's under here? You're driving me. No, he's not under here. No, jeez. And is he under here? No. Thank you, Devin. Thank you so much. Petticoat Junction. Petticoat Junction. I am so totally confused. And I am, oh man, I am so bad at jelly plate printing. I'm either put down too much paint or I don't wait long enough for it to dry. And yeah, I just a mess. And then my the pulls that Susan had. How long ago was that, Susan, when you were transferring photo images from magazines and every, that was just amazing. Can you see her? Isn't that, look at how cute that is. She's flying through the streets of, that's not Michael J. Fox. Driving me nuts. I don't know who that is. My favorite statue is David. Whenever I find a David, I always cut him out because one of my all-time. Washi tape's going to go here. that's my plan for that, is washi tape. And that's so. Well, I'm hoping that people in South Carolina are not going to get, it looks like massive thunderstorms and a lot of rain that just is coming on shore, but that tropical storm Danny, the fact that that just 4 hours is, if that's, I don't even want to think about it. Don't want to think about it. I don't like that. That's kind of, see, here's that again. We had that earlier. I keep on getting. See, these cards are, I get these in the mail all the time. And the only problem with them, they're really, really hard to. Oh, look, I got all these little. Oh, wow. Okay. They're hard to sew, but man, they make a heck of a. I got all sorts of goodies here. So anybody else working on anything? At least a year ago. Yeah, that was one of, that was just incredible. Do you remember what magazine you were pulling those from? Was it just one fashion magazine? I can't, they were mostly black and white images, as I recall. But man, they were just, oh, here's that. Yeah, Vogue. Okay, I thought, Vogue is, that's got. I've only tried that a couple of times without any success at all. Aren't these places gorgeous? I have no idea where that is. And it's probably in, it says, well, this is on the other side, but my guess is somewhere in Norway or Sweden. But these cruises are like, oh, here you go. The full brochure price for the owner's suite, the most expensive place, is only $31,000. Only 31. Wouldn't that be cool, huh? It would be. Well, if I won like a lottery, I would want to do like a crafty thing, and rent a place, like a big old house, and provide transportation and invite a bunch of people and just to craft and, I don't know, drink tea or whatever, and have a couple of chefs or people to cook for us. Maybe if you had a lot of money, you could bring in, can you imagine inviting Seth Apter? Or the other notables in the craft. Shannon Green. Can you imagine spending a weekend with Shannon Green and Seth Apter? Barb Owen? Oh my gosh, can you imagine? That would be just unfriggin' believable. That would be so fun. Can you imagine doing something like that? Well, I guess the first thing we got to do is to buy a lottery ticket. I'm assuming there's lotteries in. Wouldn't that? Oh yeah. I think Kimberly was talking about there was she was talking about one of the islands off the coast of the Carolinas where there were wild horses, and you could rent, a big house. And I think Brooke bought a house up in Maine, I think, and I think that was the plan, right? A place up in Maine where she was going to have like crafting getaway weekends, and then the COVID hit, and that screwed everything up. But I think it was Brooke. Does anybody recall that? Brooke and I think they have that. They bought the place. I could be wrong. Hi, Sherry. How are you? And Debbie, how are you? Nice to see you all. Thanks for stopping in. I know this is kind of like a rather vague evening, and I'm just probably boring the crap out of you all. But my youngest son has driven from Salt Lake City. Oh, she can go down these stairs. Salt Lake City to Lake Chautauqua, which is in southwestern New York. He just likes to drive. I think in another life. I'd rather buy a villain's. There you go. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, villain in Spain. Yeah. Well, if you're going to do Spain, I highly recommend the island of Mallorca off the coast of Spain. I've often wanted to go back there. Yeah. I think you know that. I've told you that story. That's where I did my junior year in college, on the island of Mallorca off the coast of Spain. And that is, look at that. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. That's out of this is the Americana Oceana Cruises. I'm telling you, folks, type in oceanacruises.com and ask for their catalogs, because they are unbelievable. Yeah. Go to the island of Mallorca off the coast of Spain. And we can do that in Spain. Everyone have to have passports though, but that would work. You can do it. It's doable, right? It only takes money. Money talks and nobody walks. I got a passport a couple of years ago when I went to Nova Scotia, and I think they're good for 10 years. So my passport's still good, so I'm ready to go. All you need is a passport and a credit card. You don't even have to pack. You don't even need to bring a toothbrush. You can buy that on the way. Just buy it as you go, right? Just a piece of plastic and a passport. Watch the live webcams. Oh, okay. That's what you've been doing? You have been doing that? Honestly? Susan, you've been watching? Well, I know during the height of COVID, when everything was shut down, I know that the dolphins came back to Venice. And the dolphins had returned to Venice because the canals had cleaned up, and so there were dolphins swimming in the canals of Venice, which is amazing. Well, that's much more exciting than watching which is pretty cool. Where I used to work, they have they've erected osprey platforms for the ospreys to build nests, and they have a webcam in one of the osprey nests, and you can watch the ospreys and the chicks hatch. And but that's not as probably as exciting as Venice. Yes, we got the 10-year passport. How optimistic were we? Well, I mean, I don't think you can get ones that are less than 10 years. I just think people change a lot in 10 years, I mean, age. I think that, in Florida, especially in Florida, like I say duh, because a lot about Florida is a big duh. The driver's license, you don't have to renew them, but every 8 years. Well, a lot happens between. I know that who killed Michael J. Fox? I didn't kill him. Did I glue over him? You guys are driving me nuts. I think you just. In Florida, you can renew, your licenses are good for 8 years. Let me just tell you, I think a lot happens between 70 and 78 in terms of, or 80 and 88. I can't believe you just brought that up. I was just talking about Dallas to somebody else. I never watched a single episode of Dallas. So I have no idea who killed JR, nor do I give a shit. I'm probably killing you guys with boredom, but that's okay. I never watched Lost either. That was another one that was big. Everyone used to come in on Monday, whenever the day after the night after Lost was on, and everyone in school would be talking about Lost. I never watched any of that. I thought Lost was just kind of a serious version of, Gilligan's Island. I always thought that Gilligan's Island, all those people came to. Yeah, okay. The last time my mom was, God bless her, my mom was 93 when she renewed her license for the last time. Yep, 93. Just turned 95. Yeah, my mom was 93, and then when she was, I guess at the end of 93, she just announced that she wasn't going to drive anymore. And that was fine with me. I think I've all told you that she was out drinking and partying. And she came home stinking drunk. Oh my God. I was the parent. And she'd been to a party in this community. And she came into the house, and she was staggering, and she was so friggin' drunk. And I'm sitting there like scolding her, like, I'm the parent. And she starts undressing. And I told her that, no, let me get you into the bedroom. So I got her into the bedroom and got her into bed. And then I figured I better go outside and check the car. And when I got to the garage, I looked at her car, and the passenger side driver's mirror was gone. There were just two wires that were hanging, and there was no other damage to the car, but the side rear mirror was gone. That was it. And she has no idea what happened. And all she did was the next day she was blaming the bartender at the party, that he made the drinks too strong. And on my way home from work, I drove around the same path that she would have taken on her way home, thinking that I might find the mirror, like in one of the little runoff gullyways, but there was nothing. There was no evidence. There was nothing. And she has no idea what happened. I asked the friend that she was with, and the friend's name was Ann also. And Ann said, yeah, your mom probably had a little bit too much to drink. I stay away from that side. Susan. Oh my God. Uh, that's from you. Well, in this community, we had a neighbor that her reasoning was that she only drove to places where she knew she was going. Does that make any sense? And that, she was losing her sight and she would drive, even though it was not, she'd go to the local Publix, which was maybe 3 miles away, but that's not the point. And she explained that, well, she would drive, and when she came, she would stop if the car stopped in front of her, and she would know to go when the car started moving in front of her. And then her sons came and basically decided that Gloria shouldn't be driving anymore. But it's hard, I guess. My mother voluntarily decided that she wasn't going to drive anymore, so I didn't have to deal with that. Oh, that's wonderful. So you're going to have a 4th of July family reunion, Lori. That is super. All right, Silverado pickup. What does she got under the hood? A V6 or a V8? That's a big old truck. Yeah, I would imagine. I can't imagine. Not go anywhere. But to be able, V6. See, I couldn't even get up in that car. I would have to have like an extra step to get up into that. Probably turbocharged too. So your mom doesn't, I'm assuming she doesn't live that far from you? I mean, you just stay away, you don't drive on that side of the town where she's, it's funny. Not going anywhere, been doing it for 16 months. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, we've kind of gotten used to that to a certain point. That's true. Absolutely. Oh, right across from your office. Okay. Well, I can imagine if your mom is anything like you, she's got to be a pistol, Susan. Okay, your mom lives a mile from you. Okay, all right. Huh? Well, that's good. That's cool. Well, I moved down here and to be with my mom. So my mom we were in the same house under the same, under the same roof, so to speak. She's very sweet. So, Susan, you're sweet in your own way. Except that I think that somewhere along the line, I heard through the YouTube grapevine that poor Rosemary feels that you're not nice to her. Is that what came out the other day? I thought that was so funny. I know she was just kidding. You only have to drive a mile. Well, that's a short commute. I've never had more than a 5 mile commute, so I can't complain. All I can say is the two of you together is by far one of the best YouTube shows that are out there. The two of you together, I mean, are hysterical. It's just pure entertainment above and beyond the art that, the art that's going on. I mean, obviously there's art that's going on. Rosemary is doing art and everything, but the chemistry between the two of you, it is so natural and it is so funny. Um, it's it's the Roe and Poe show, or the Poe and Roe show, and you guys just have a great chemistry, and I love watching you guys together.
Things I can't touch.
I drove 40 miles one way before I moved. 40 miles. Oh my gosh. Population here is only 60,000. Takes 20 minutes to drive from one end to the other. Is that 20 minutes? Is that because of traffic? Or am I missing something? I guess 60,000 is. My father, oh my gosh, he commuted from Eastern Long Island to Kennedy International Airport. And the traffic was just horrific. And during like horrible snowstorms, he would always, no matter what, he would make sure he got to work, because he didn't want any of his, he was the director of personnel, and he didn't want anybody to say that they couldn't get to work because of the bad weather. And those are people that lived like real close to the airport. And so he made sure. And that commute was, oh man, I don't know, probably 60 miles. And with the traffic and everything. My father was a stubborn old German, that's for sure. See, this glue is, it's very sticky, folks. So now we have some mousses. Whoops. And there's that picture again. That was earlier, and if you recall, I put something else down. Here we go. I don't know whether I make art. Yeah, stubborn old German. Yeah. He was, and his father was just stubborn old German. I don't know. He was not very, and I don't know whether it's the German, but he was not very warm, fuzzy-wuzzy, I mean, there were no hugs, and he was, and I guess it was a different time. I've talked about this with other people, they just, children were seen and not heard in my household, at least. It was, so I always gravitated towards the big raucous families in the neighborhood. That's where you would find me, we were fed, the children were fed at 6 o'clock every night. and my father's father who lived with us. So my grandfather and us kids. And at that time, it would have been my younger brother and myself. And my sister was married and out of the house. And so we were fed at 6 with grandpa. And then my father would get home after 6, and he'd get changed, and they would have their martinis before dinner. And then they would have a quiet dinner, just the two of them. Sometimes candlelit, just the two of them. I mean, we were fed and shoot out of the kitchen, whatever, and they just had a quiet dinner, just the two of them, pretty much every night. We never had dinner together except on the weekends. We would have dinner together on Saturday and Sundays. And my mother, God bless her, she had to time the Sunday dinner in between the Super Bowl. I mean, not the Super Bowl, football. So on Sunday, when my father was watching football, like the afternoon game, dinner was served like during halftime. And that's kind of how things were. And my maiden name was Horenberger. Horenburger. And when I got divorced, I didn't go back to my maiden name. I just kept Laura because it's a whole lot shorter to spell and easier to pronounce. So I just kept Laura. And that was the easiest thing to do. But you can see, again, how beautiful these pictures are. And I've got tons and tons and tons of them. So I can't encourage you enough to check out oceanacruises.com. Oh, yes, I think she should be walking right under the Eiffel Tower. I do believe she should. Well, guys, I think I'm going to paste this lady down, and I'm going to say goodnight to you all. And I know I'll see you out on the internet. Tomorrow's Tuesday. So Mary should be on tomorrow morning. Well, I'm glad I could provide some laughs. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I always enjoy, popping on and seeing you all. So have a good rest of the week. And again, as I always say, if you can't be good, be careful. And I'll see you soon. Good night, guys. Thanks for stopping, and I really appreciate you being here. Bye, all.